Greetings and salutations. My name is Michael Schwahn and welcome to the channel. We have some more reaction content for you, and today we are checking out Hellsweeper VR. Now, this is a game that I believe is coming out first to the Meta Quest 2, formerly known as the Oculus, but it is going to be available on other VR platforms such as like the HTC Vive. And what is the Steam one called? The Steam has their own VR kit now. Probably find its way to like PSVR as well at some point. And while I don't do a whole lot of VR stuff, it is something that I'm keeping my eyes on because I'm waiting to see where VR eventually gets to. Because when VR first kicked off, it really was about rhythm games. Of course, Beat Saber largely still is just the absolute largest VR game, except for maybe VR chat, but that's different, right? That's the modern like version of your freaking ICR AOL chat rooms from 1997, okay? That's not the same as what we're looking at in terms of actual video games. And Hellsweeper VR, I don't know what Hellsweeper is, but apparently this is a reimagining, recreation, remake of apparently a cult classic game called Hellsweeper. I don't know what that is. I didn't play it, but that's not what's important right now. But I'm wanting to keep my eyes on VR because I'm waiting for us to get to VR games that feel more like games and less like concepts. Because we've had a lot of really decent rhythm style games. We got like Synth Riders. I already mentioned Beat Saber. We got like Audica. There's a whole bunch of others that are in that category. But I'm waiting to see people do things that are beyond that, because what is it called, like Blade and Sorcery or something like that? That like you see some funny clips of people like, you know, lifting someone up on a sword and yeeting him at someone else, but it still kind of looks like a concept rather than like an actual game. But people are still pushing VR, and I'm not talking about that stupid-ass metaverse that Zuckerberg is trying to push. People are still exploring the VR space as a whole, and we're going to hit a point where it either makes it or it doesn't. We're going to hit that make or break point. And I think we will hit a make point because it's going to be a new space that is slow to adopt to in terms of like people that actually get on board for it. And I don't think we'll ever really hit that point where the metaverse talk about where we spend at least 4 hours a day living in VR. Kill me. But I do believe it'll be a more widely talked about and utilized platform for gaming. So it's important that we try and keep an eye on where we're at on that. And one of the ones that I've seen being passed around is Hellsweeper. Now, Hellsweeper was actually originally showed off at the Summer Games Fest last year, and that's where we'll start with so we can kind of see where it's been going, because we got one from the middle of the year in 2021, the reveal trailer from Summer Games Fest, or it was called the Upload VR event, but it was part of that Summer Games event. And then we've seen more and more come forward, including a Gamescom showcase just a couple of days ago, and this trailer right here is actually from today. So let's go into this. I feel like a pseudo VR life with YouTube, TikTok, Twitch. The grind is real. Yeah. Oh, it was actually a VR game apparently originally. There's a surprising amount of movement here. That's one of the things that's been really tricky with VR, is the more you're able to fluidly move around, the more you risk causing people to have motion sickness. Pretty sick. Especially like that last shot there where you see, I'm guessing what is like a boss, right? That slams the ground and blows you back. that I'm sure for a lot of people will cause some serious motion sickness. Okay, so this is the like re-reveal trailer when it was the official quest reveal. So move without limits. Yes, because in VR, flying through the air upside down might be a good idea. Man, this is going to be a serious test on people's motion sick. Not everyone gets it, right? Some people, they'll do VR and it looks perfectly fine. Like they don't have any issues. They can be driving in a car in VR and being like on like a roller coaster and stuff, and they don't have those issues. Some people, they put on VR and they're just like in general just immediately motion sickness. It'll be interesting to see if we can ever get to a point where that isn't as large of a problem. Please be cool, game. It looks cool. Please be cool. Right? So this is what it looks like now. Everything else was older trailers. This trailer is from yesterday, and then the next one is from today. It doesn't look a whole lot different. Ew. Okay, that's very neat. What is your preferred description of lightning as an element? Because instead of calling it lightning, they called it bolt, right? Some Valdo-looking motherfuckers. There you go. Poor Soul Calibur. I feel like Soul Calibur today is such a forgotten fighting game. Man, those are the shots that I'm wondering how that'll go when you actually have the VR headset on. When you're flying through the air like that. Okay, and then this is the last one. This one's super short. It says movement and combat, but it's only 40 seconds, which means it's actually only 30 seconds. This looks very similar to what we just saw. I'm not too surprised by that. The trailers are one day away from one another. That was neat. That's it. It says wishlist now. It doesn't actually have a release date, at least not one that's shown in any of these trailers. So, okay. So, random little side question, right? Has anyone seen the motion sickness glasses that they made for people to wear that if they get motion sick in the car? They look ridiculous. You got these big old bubbles here as well as bubbles on the side. They're like rings that are, it's literally like a glorified silly straw that you can't drink out of. And it's got blue liquid, or I think it just needs to be a high contrast liquid that's supposed to sit at your relative like eye level so that as things move, the liquid should still stay relatively level. Apparently it makes a huge difference for people that have the problem with motion sickness. Like it'll for a large number of people that get motion sick in the car, it will fix it. You look ridiculous, but you know, you can't even drink out of garbage. Throw it away. I'm curious if that works in VR. Now, one thing with VR, it's only 2 screens in front. They're really close to your eyes, but I'm wondering how important the peripheral bubbles are, because I wonder if people that have motion sickness in VR, if there's like we'll call it an overlay, if there's an overlay that you can put in VR that is literally just those bubble glasses, and if that would work. Because that would be really, I don't know. I'm just curious. I'm really curious. I don't know if anyone's tried it. Maybe someone has. I need to Google it, look it up. But either way, just curious if that would be an option to try and help people with motion sickness. Obviously, it would be obstructive because you'd be putting that over top of your gameplay and stuff. So it would, make it harder to see because you got these things trying to help keep you from being motion sickness. But I'm just curious if it would work. But that was Hellsweeper VR. It actually looks pretty decent, okay? Now, one of the things with VR is that because VR headsets are meant to be standalone, most of them can be absolutely hooked up to a computer, or in some cases need to be, but like the largest VR headset right now is the MetaQuest 2. Alternatively is the PSVR. I believe that's number 1 and 2. Especially now that we got the PSVR 2 coming around. That should be interesting as well to see if that actually gains any traction. PSVR kind of did, but not really. Really, the leader in VR right now is the MetaQuest 2, and it's a standalone system. You can give it extra juice and extra power to crank out better-looking games if you connect it to a computer. Biggest example of which, and probably the best VR game available right now, is Half-Life Alyx. Looks really good. It's got a great physics engine. It shows off genuinely what you can do in VR, but you have to have a pretty strong computer to basically feed the VR everything into a VR headset. Whereas games like Hellsweeper here are being built to be able to run on the headset alone, and the headset's independent. If you don't have a computer, you can still buy a MetaQuest 2 and play games like Beat Saber, Hellsweeper, or whatever else is available through the Quest store, which is cool, right? But it does mean that because you're limited to the technology that fits into a headset, you can't put in things that are extremely high definition, really high textures, etc., right? Because you're limited by the hardware, much like we see in my many complaints with the Nintendo Switch as a platform. But this looks pretty good. And I'm really curious to see how these movement things work, because we're seeing people be more ambitious and be more daring with it. Because early on, all we really saw was the teleport movement, especially because the thing that we're trying to combat the most is motion sickness. So the point and click, and then you teleport over there. Because you don't see the world move, you don't move, you're just suddenly there. While it might be jarring in terms of like, I'm suddenly here now, it normally doesn't cause motion sickness because nothing moved. So you still have full control of only moving where you look. This, on the other hand, is like the absolute opposite of that. Let's let you run on walls and fly upside down through the air. Good luck. But it looks like it could be pretty solid. But man, if this is going to test your motion sickness, then I wish you the best. But yeah, Hellsweeper, what did you think? I'm curious to know if you have a VR headset, how much you use it and what you use it for. Are you somebody that likes to use it for like a home theater experience? Are you somebody that is just really cranking out the rhythm games? I don't blame you. Rhythm games on VR are really, really fun, and you get a much better workout than you think you are until you take off the headset and sit down, and then your body's like, holy shit, he finally stopped. But what do you think? Leave your thoughts down in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Sounds great. I'm only 5'4". I'd like those skills. I'm 6 foot, and I'd like those skills. Even being taller, I still can't run on walls and fly upside down through the air. But absolutely, have a ball. Yeah, so anyway, what was I saying? Right, videos. This one. Right. If you want to keep the conversation elsewhere, 2 great places to do so are Discord and Twitter. Speaking of Discord, we actually have a channel dedicated to these reactions where you can place links of your own that we can check out together live on stream, because we do stream 4 days a week, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Sunday, and I would love to see you there. If you enjoyed this video, please leave it a like. If you want to catch future videos, please subscribe to the channel. And if you do go watch one of the other videos on the channel, or if I see you in the live stream, thank you and enjoy. Thank you.